What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of our show. Today, we're going to be getting a little bit more personal, and we're going to be talking about fun stories about our life. So, we're going to start off with Mark, since he is probably one of the most interesting men that we know. So, Mr. Hot Pockets.
Ooh. And most interesting man you know, I felt that. Thank you.
Mr. Heineken.
I lied.
Yeah. I think it's Dos Equis actually was most interesting man, wasn't it? Yeah,
It is.
Heineken.
Oh, same color, bro.
This man doesn't drink.
Different
don't.
countries, bro.
How dare you.
Come on.
My wife's the drinker, I'll
You
be honest.
apologize, Mexico. Heineken, I don't know where you're from, but I don't apologize. Terrible beer.
White
German.
people. Yeah,
Terrible.
it's from white.
Alrighty, so Mark is an alcoholic.
Oh,
So, you should have a good one.
yeah. I have multiple good ones, including one next to me in this cup. No. So fun story growing up. We didn't have a lot of money in my family. So one year for Christmas, my dad went out and for all my siblings, well, the three older brothers, he said, "Hey guys, he handed us 2 packages, wrapped of course. And he said, y'all go wild with these. Threw them to us. So myself and my younger brother Adrian both opened them up. And inside was 2 sets of boxing gloves. One blue and one red. And we're like, oh, cool. Boxing gloves. What can go wrong? And so for Christmas that year, my family ran an illegal boxing ring outside of the house
What the
with a little porch at my grandma's house that my younger brothers, Adrian and Jerry, both put on the gloves, and they went out and fought each other for 3 3-minute rounds. The scorers were my stepmom, my dad, and my grandmother, and they went out and actually scored and judged the fights. They beat each other to a pulp on Christmas Day. And then we had, of course, the main card fight, which was myself versus my aunt, who is 2 years older than me. Yeah, man. And let me tell you something. She beat the shit out of me.
Was it the girl that went to
Yeah, it was
your
one.
birthday?
Yeah, my aunt went to my birthday party. She went and she murdered me. She went out and just boom, helicopter punched me. And I got up. I was like, that's a foul, Dad. Come on, you know that. Stop taking punches like a bitch, Mark. Yes, Dad, I'm sorry. I'll never forget that, though. My grandma looked at me like, oh, disowned. You're out. I cried on Christmas Day with a
Oh,
black
man.
eye.
Oh.
But yeah, I'll never forget that. Go ahead.
So that is why Mark takes any opportunity to beat women nowadays.
Yeah,
Any opportunity he gets.
They were asking for it.
Full disclaimer, he does not do that. He does not ever hit women.
Anymore.
And we do
Right.
not condone the abuse of women.
We do not.
Anymore.
Ever.
More.
This is just jokes, people. Please.
He's
Don't take
drinking-
us too literal. We just try to have fun here on YouTube. So, I guess you could say that everyone goes through shitty situations.
Sure.
And I go through literal shit situations. So, oh man, everybody, if you're not from Texas, I don't even know if it's just a Texas thing, but Wingstop, delicious. It's some of the best wings you will ever have. And I don't know, I just love, I love lemon pepper. Lemon pepper is king to me. But for some reason that day, I decided to be brave. And I tried, I want to say it was, I don't even remember the flavor, but it's one of the ones that's on the red bar.
Brave soul.
Oh, I know, man. So I had 5 lemon pepper, and then the other 10 were just spicy because I was just feeling it, right? I was like, oh, I want to eat, something picante today.
Oh.
So there I am eating it. Yeah, I'm just, having a good time eating them. So we're supposed to go hang out with one of our friends that day. And so there we are. Once I finish the wings, everything's good. Have a good meal. And then I was like, let's go play basketball to shoot around. So there we go. We go to Pigwell Park. And there we are. We're shooting around, just having a good time. We're waiting for my friend to get out. Actually, my friend, because we weren't technically together at the time. It was Nicolette. We were waiting for Nicolette.
The
So-
wife.
yes, the wife. And then we were also waiting for Josh, which
The other
hopefully,
wife.
yeah, the other wife. You will definitely see him on this channel one of these days. He's a great guy. So we are there, and out of nowhere, my stomach just goes, and I was like, oh man.
Can I stop
And
you for a
then
moment?
what's that?
Don't tell me you use the restroom at the park.
No, man.
Oh,
It gets worse than that.
Ah.
It gets worse. So there I am. My stomach's like, and I'm like, oh God, what's going on? So then, surely enough, I have to take a shit. Big one, man. I could feel it. My guts are rumbling. And then I was like, oh, there's a Valero up here. And then the minute I move, my stomach just goes, and I was like, oh man, I don't think I'm gonna make it. And then my two friends that were there, actually 3 friends, they were there and they were like, what's wrong? And I was like, I have to take a shit. And they're like, well, there's Jack in the Box up the street. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna make it. So I go to I go to the restroom at the park. I'm trying to, but they close up the gates. And I'm like, oh God. I feel it. I can't. So what do? Man, I was like, I got 2 options. Either I shit my pants or I fucking pull them down behind the building in the restroom and just take a shit. So sure enough, I was like, I'm not going to shit my pants. I'm not going to be that guy. I am 20 years old. I am 19. I am not going to shit my pants. So here we are. I was like, oh, fuck. And good thing it was already 11 o'clock at night. So we're not even supposed to be there technically. There I go, pull down my pants, take a shit, right? And my friend's like, don't worry. Before I took the shit, she's like, don't worry. I got napkins. And she was like, I'll go get them once you're done. And I was like, okay, man, MVP, right? Fucking KD moment. My tears are coming out. I was like, go get me the napkins. So she goes, she comes back. She's like, I don't have them. Oh man. So, normal, smart people in this type of situation, well, first, they don't eat the wings that they can't handle. True. But secondly, most people think, take your socks off. I don't know why that didn't happen to me. Instead, I try to tear my underwear and wipe my ass like that. So there's a car pulling up to the park, and I'm like rushing, trying to tear it out. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, I end up taking off my pants with my underwear, fucking wiping as much as I can because, wow, this was bad. This is bad. And I'm getting intimate with YouTube, so please.
Please like and subscribe.
Don't forget, man.
Never forget the shit.
So then there we are. Oh. And it was terrible. I get in. I have this little ugly green Cavalier, no AC. I have to roll down the windows. It's only a 2-door. And my friends were riding with me that day. They were riding with me. We get in there. It smells like shit. God, it smells like shit. I have literally one of my friends sitting in the back. She's like this the whole time. She's like, God, I hate you, Axel, right? I have German, another good friend of mine, Jew friend. Yeah. Really good guy. But he's sticking his head out like this. He cannot bear that fucking smell. I'm like, God, it fucking sucked. And then I see Nico. We go pick her up. And she's like, you smell. I was like, yeah. It's been one of those fucking shitty situations. Literal fucking shit situations. I actually have another one, but I don't want to take up too much time. So if Esteban, if we wrap it up, I'll tell y'all that third one, but go for it, man.
Mine shouldn't take very long. It's not as funny as yours, but it's very interesting. So when I was 2 years old, my sisters and I decided to break away from our babysitter, and this is in Minnesota, and we're at my grandma's house. So we decided to break away from our babysitter, and mind you, I'm 2, my older sister's 3, and my other sister, the oldest one, is 4. So yeah, we were smart, right? So we broke away, and I just said we were at my grandma's house. My grandma's house is on top of a hill, about 100-foot hill. And down at the bottom is the Red River. Oh. So guess where we went?
Oh, no.
Yes. We went down to the river, and we were playing on the riverbank with my mom's jacks. I don't know. For those of you that aren't familiar with jacks, it's those little 4 peg things that you bounce a ball, you pick them up, you bounce a ball. Old school game. Anyways, irrelevant. So we're playing with the jacks, and they fell in the water. And it was my mom, so my sisters were like, well, we have to get them back. We were going to get in trouble. Mind the fact we're by a freaking river. So they didn't know how to swim. They decided, let's throw Esteban in. They threw me in the river, and long story short, I died. I was
Oh.
dead. I was a floating baby with a full set of hair and a full ass diaper, just floating in the river. And luckily for me, a bystander who was running the route saw me, passed by and saw us there, and saw me floating, jumped in the river, swam to me, pulled me out by my hair, and pulled me to the surface. And then before you know it, ambulance is there, fire rescue's there, and the ambulance team declares me dead.
Wow.
Dead. I had been dead for 15 minutes. It was a
Wow.
wrap. And so my mom was hysterical. My sisters were hysterical. My babysitter, which was my actual oldest sister, was about to get the shit beaten out of her. And one of the firefighters took me behind the truck, and I only know this because my mom is the one that told me. He took me behind the truck, and then my mom said she would never forget the moment she heard me crying.
Oh.
She doesn't know what they did to me. Nobody knows what they probably stuck a finger up my ass or something.
I hope. that brings everybody back to life.
It still makes us want to cry to this day.
But yeah, the interesting enough is she calls him my guardian angel, the firefighter that brought me back, because she can't remember his face. A person like that who revives your child, you think their face would be burned into your mind, and there's no record of him or anything like that. So very interesting story. It's not the only time I've died though, but I'll save that for the next one. Actually, one more thing I forgot I was going to touch up on.
Oh, no.
The color red is not really a good sign for me. The reason why, first of all, this one, Red River, which after that day, I've fallen into that river at least 6 more times
Damn.
as I got older.
You
Yeah.
learn how to
Learn how to
swim.
swim.
Yeah.
No kidding.
I knew how to swim at that
No,
point.
obviously not that well.
I didn't die after that, at least from the river.
That's his argument. I didn't die, did I? I only died once.
The last time I fell in, I'll never forget. I was like 6 years old, and my friends and I were playing with the fence, a construction fence.
Mhm.
We're rocking it back and forth, and my friend
Like
let
most
go.
kids do.
Yeah, and it came out, and it was falling into the river, and my friends let it go. My dumbass didn't, so I fell in the river with it, and it was taking me under. And I swear on everything, in my mind, I saw a fucking killer whale in the water, and it terrified the fuck out of me. So I swam as quick as I could to the surface and got the hell out of there. And then I just went back home. Didn't tell anybody anything why I was wet, dripping, or anything like that. So that's the Red River. And then the other bad omen with the color red is when I was 5, living in Texas, and I was waiting for the ice cream man with my sisters, who I should have learned to stay away from. And I was short a nickel, so I ran across the street to go get the nickel, and a red truck hit me going 40 miles an hour.
How red was this truck?
It looked kind of like yours. If
Was
I'm
there a
not
red
mistaken.
2007 GMC Sierra?
I mean, I was 5, so probably not.
I'm going to say it wasn't mine this time.
But so the red truck hit me, threw me into the air 15 yards, and I have this scar on my arm where a branch went up and into my arm with a bunch of rocks and debris. Point of impact was my head.
Uh-huh.
That's the only thing I have to show for it.
So no, your head still looks swollen, bro. It still looks a little swollen.
The hair took all the impact.
And
Hey,
then
man,
the,
Joey got hit pretty hard in his head.
the last bad omen with red is when I was about 13. I was riding my bike out of our
Basically,
trailer park.
stay the fuck away from Esteban.
If you see red and Esteban,
Yeah.
steer clear, please.
I was riding my bike, just got on it, just came out of the trailer park, and bam, got hit by a red car. And I did the typical Mexican thing.
This red car was in the red 2007 GMC Sierra, right?
I think you're good.
Mark's vehicle has a lot of dents. It might be it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the Lion King. Everybody loves the Lion King.
I also hit a kid, so I'm just making sure it wasn't you.
I did the typical Mexican thing, which was pop right back up, got my bike. I was like, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh, they were asking, do I need to call the ambulance? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm walking my bike. Don't even get back on it. I walk it back to the trailer.
Esteban asked for $3 from them. You have an extra nickel?
I never did get that nickel.
God.
Waste of a story.
But yeah, so me and the color red, not a good mix. But that's all I got as far as childhood trauma, I suppose. Actually, that's good enough. That's good enough.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for watching, and as always, don't forget to subscribe. And if you liked it, just go ahead and hit that like button. Thank you, guys.
That was fun.
There was one more.
I